Hello everyone, my name is Luke Noseptis and this is my final presentation for this class. What was my research question? My research question changed from the beginning of the semester towards the end, but it was still based on movement and stress. And in the end, my question was, how does enjoyable movement affect stress levels? Why did I choose to research this? I chose to research this because I'm a cheerleader, which means I'm constantly moving my body and pushing myself 3 or more times a week at practice. Another reason for this was because I had just started going to the gym and I wanted something that could motivate me and hold me accountable for going to the gym. And my last reason was that I get stressed out really easily and a lot, and it can affect my motivation and productivity. And I'm always looking for ways that can help me reduce stress. What were my daily questions that I asked myself? So it did change from the beginning towards the end as my research question changed. But in the beginning, I answered what type of movement I did, my heart rate throughout the whole movement, and then my stress level before and after. And in the end, the first question was still what type of movement did I do? The second question was how difficult it was, and I couldn't measure my heart rate anymore because at practice I'm not allowed to wear an Apple Watch, so I was often left with no data. So I changed it to what was my enjoyment of the movement, and the last question was still how was my stress level before and after. What type of movement did I do? So obviously cheer was a big part of my movement. And I couldn't really control what I did at practice because that's up to the coaches, but it mostly consisted of tumbling, stunting, and going full out. The other two most common movements that I did was walking or hiking and Pilates, plus the gym, obviously, but walking I found to be a really great movement because often I didn't want to go to the gym because I had so much to do and I didn't want to waste like 2 hours to drive to the gym, work out, and come back. And when I could just walk around my neighborhood for 30 minutes and have really great results. Now, what did I find for this project? I found that there is a decrease in stress after movement, and I also reported, that cheer was my most common movement. And I found this interesting because this season I've been really struggling to enjoy going to practice and just loving my sport, which is why my research question was enjoyable movement. Because when I would go to practice with a negative mindset, I really wouldn't see any results because I was just so focused on how I didn't want to be there and how I wanted to go home. Another interesting thing that I learned from this project was that the movement that I did didn't have to be intense. Like, I didn't have to go on a 5 mile run. I didn't have to lift weights and like work really hard in the gym. That's why earlier I mentioned that I found that walking was to be one of my best exercises because it gave me such great results. It was short and it just worked really good in reducing stress and just being outside in nature. So I definitely would recommend that. What did I learn from this project? I learned that consistency is an important thing to have, and building a schedule that you can rely on is super important. And while I may not have continued writing in my journal every day and turning it in, I did continue going to the gym or going on a walk and reflecting about it in my mind because that became almost like a part of my everyday routine. And I hope to continue this throughout not just the project, just going forward because it really like gave me stability and just helped me feel really good about myself. And overall, I've had such a great time in this class doing everything and reading everyone's daily entries and responding. And yeah, bye.